My powerful one. If you feel like you've been trying to grow your business and impact, but no matter what you try, it's not happening, this video is for you. Because what we're going to talk about is one of the most important topics when it comes to growing your business with soul and growing it limitlessly. And that is reactive versus creative consciousness, or as I lovingly call it, our logician and magician energetic archetypes, and how these two aspects on a spectrum of creativity play a huge role in how easy it is for us to grow our business, attract more and more ideal clients, and make more and more impact, or how not so easy we find it. More specifically, I'll take you through 9 distinctive areas in your business where this logician and magician, or reactive and creative consciousness, plays a huge role and make a difference. So without further ado, let's do it. But just in case we don't know each other, hi, my name is Lenka Lutonska. I'm a creator of Business Energetics and founder of Business Energetics Academy. And I'm here to help you unlock incredible business growth beyond logic, limitless success beyond strategy, wealth beyond limits, and fulfillment beyond measure with the power of business energetics. So if you're new in this space, warm welcome. Anyway, let's do it. And perhaps before we go into the nitty-gritty of creative and reactive consciousness, I could share with you one of many client stories where embodies this knowing how to lead from reactive versus creative consciousness led to creating a huge difference in their businesses. So I'm talking about my past client. Let's call her Nina. That's not her real name. Still, Nina came to me when her business was not going very well. Even though she had a lot of past sales experience, she found it very difficult to grow her business where it was, and at the time it was roughly speaking 5K a month, and she wanted to, of course, to grow it a lot more. She wanted to bring it to 7 figures and beyond, but she was in a place like many powerful entrepreneurs are, and that is, I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm trying new things, and yet whatever I'm trying, it still comes to the same freaking income ceiling or whatever it is. So things are not shifting as fast as I want. So this is the place where Nina was when she first entered Business Energetics Academy. And as we work together in the first few months, I would like to tell you that immediately things shifted. No, for her specifically, no, things did not shift. In fact, in the first few months, she had exactly 0 revenues. Yes, after she entered working with me into Business Energetics Academy for first couple of months, she had 0 sales revenues. Now, it may sound horrible, but in her case, it was needed because she had to alchemize the gift that this experience carried, such as she was hiding her business activities and how she was doing from her husband. She was keeping this, I'm strong woman and I don't need help, which heavily impacted her relationship. So she found herself in a place when she had to come open and ask for support, which led to massive relationship breakthrough. And at the same time, her entire nervous system relaxed and it opened itself to receive, which massively contributed to what followed next. But the biggest thing for her was that throughout these initial months inside of Business Energetics Academy, she was still very heavily in reactive consciousness. In that consciousness where we mimic, where we go by environment and look around, look horizontally, look externally and ask, what's working? What do I need to do to succeed? How is she doing it? How are they doing it? What my clients want? Essentially, we give our creative power, typically unconsciously, to external world, to other people. And that's where Nina was stuck in even when she stepped into Business Energetics Academy. Yes, she started to change some areas of her business. Yes, she decided to create and launch something new, but that new was actually a copy of what I was doing. She later said, yes, Lenka, I exactly mimicked what you were doing because I thought if you're doing it, surely it will work for me. And therefore, 0 months followed. When she, however, realized this, that, oh my goodness, this is what I'm doing. I actually create and sell based on what I think should work, not what I really, really would love. Then she started asking herself, well, if I forget whether something will work or not, whether something will succeed or not, how do I actually want to make a difference in the world? How do I actually want to serve others? And the answer came to her right away: organize retreats. And she did it right away. And guess what? In the next few weeks, she sold out her first retreat, which led to one of many 50K months. I repeat this particular client, she went from 0 months initially to straight to 50K months, and it happened again and again later because she switched from reactive consciousness to fully creative consciousness. And that is the shift I desire for you. So this is why I want to help you to really understand logically, but also viscerally with your body, the difference between reactive and creative consciousness, and how you sometimes perhaps fall into that reactive consciousness and you can take yourself back into full creativity. Because ultimately, here is the thing: business built on reactive consciousness simply repeats the past. Business created from creative consciousness rewrites the future. Yes, our logician rewrites the past again and again. Our magician rewrites the future. Which one do you want? Of course, you want to rewrite the future, right? So let's do this, and let's go into these 9 examples or specific areas where the reactive and creative consciousness play a huge role. So the first area is your desire, intentions, and actually business branding as well. We all want something, right? But even in this, what do we actually want? Even in there, reactive and creative consciousness plays a role and can influence the goals, intentions, business direction, and even business branding. Because here's the thing: logician in you will be thinking what the world wants from me, whereas magician in you will be thinking, what do I truly desire? How do I want to make a difference, and so forth. So we're talking here about the importance of authentic desire, which can only come out from magician, fully creative consciousness. I, for instance, know that for a good decade in the past, I was stuck in this thinking that I must go to university and have a degree and have this and that because I really, I want it. I just don't know when. And I was leaking lots of my energy into that desire, whereas actually, ultimately, I realized that it was never my desire. This desire came from proving to my father that I'm good enough, because I left my country the summer. I was supposed to start the university in autumn, so I left my country and I never returned. So I told myself, one day I will do university, one day I will do university. But that was never my desire. It was my desire to prove that I'm a good girl, that I'm worthy enough, that I'm good enough. Now, whereas I used a personal example, what I mean by authentic versus inauthentic desire, or desire created based on reactive consciousness, what my father wants, versus creative consciousness, what I truly want, this is so important in business too, because I see it again and again and again where powerful leaders and entrepreneurs are setting their even business intentions and putting together a business branding or personal branding based on what the world might want from them. Say, everyone else is teaching others how to make a ton of money, so maybe I can teach how to make a ton of money. Everyone else is creating this product, so maybe I should create this product. Everyone else is even aiming to bring their business to their 7 figures, so maybe I should aim to bring my business to 7 figures. Be mindful and really, really ask yourself, is this what I truly want, or is this what the world wants of me? And if you find the latter, then please get yourself into full magician consciousness and ask yourself, what do I truly want? If anything was possible for me, if anything was possible for me now, which is, by the way, the core belief of magician consciousness, then what would I choose to do, create, and who would I choose to be? Stay in this line of thinking and feeling and creativity, and it will take you to your most authentic desires in life, but also, of course, in business. And that is the basis of the limitless success in your business. All right? And before we continue, I would love to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Business Energetics Academy. Because honestly, what else would it be? Because it's Business Energetics Academy where business beyond logic, where wild wealth beyond limits, where limitless success beyond strategy, and where fulfillment beyond measure don't just become possible, they become inevitable. And so if you're watching this and thinking, hey, I want to grow my business from this place, and I want to be a co-architect of this new global paradigm in the world, well, you're already being called into the field of Business Energetics Academy. The link is below this video, and you will know if it's for you. And for now, let's continue with the magic, shall we? The second area where Logician and Magician play a huge role is invention and product creation. So if you're in business, you create products, services, right? Now, you can go about it in 2 ways. You can go and try to find a market gap and fill it. And that's reactive consciousness. Or you can go and create a gap, create a need. And that you'll do by going inwardly into your creative consciousness and ask yourself, well, how would I love to make a difference? How would I love to create a legacy? How would I want to do this? That's completely different thinking than going out and making lots of, focus groups, market research, and so forth and so forth. That's going from reactive consciousness to fully creative consciousness. Now, what do you think takes the world forward? Those entrepreneurs that are filling the market gap, or those entrepreneurs that are brave enough not to wait for permission or, yes, please, can you create this? Which one? Which consciousness the world needs? Of course, creative consciousness leaders. The Steve Jobs out of the world, who didn't wait for anyone to say, hey, can you create something bigger than iPhone and smaller than computer and create something like iPad? No, nobody asked. Nobody asked. He came in himself and he created lots of ideas from within. You have the same capability, but you've got to be maybe a little brave, as in you've got to trust that wisdom of your heart and simply ask yourself, how would I love to create? How would I love to make a difference? How would I love to create a legacy? That's a magician at work, and that will bring your business into limitless heights. Third area we want to cover, strategic decisions. You've got to make plenty of those in your business, right? Do I do things this way, or do I do them this way? Do I do what I did last week, or do I do something new? We've got to make constant series of decisions and strategic decisions in a business. Now, when you make decisions in your business based on reactive consciousness, it goes something like this. Well, what do I need to do? This or that? Well, what worked in the past? Oh yeah, that worked in the past, so we should do it again. And even though the second time around or third time around it didn't work that well, let's do it again. Whereas when you go into fully creative consciousness, into your magician consciousness, you don't ask what worked in the past. You ask, how would I love to again make it happen now? You'd make a decision based on what your heart would love, not on what worked in the past. Also, this comes to which products or services do I still keep and which I let go. Because I know that many change makers and entrepreneurs are holding on to their way of serving or products for far longer than they need to because it works. I know for myself, I was holding myself back sometimes for months when I knew that the specific, let's say, program or a way of serving my clients really worked for clients, was really good. But I wasn't 1,000,000% in love with it anymore. It wasn't in 1,000,000% alignment with who I was becoming. That's detrimental for you, your clients, and a business. If you take inventory of your maybe products or services and you realize I'm not in love with this anymore, and not in love in this anymore, and not in love with this anymore, even though it brings you some profits, I encourage you to let that go, let go of good, to welcome great. You will be rewarded for it limitlessly, but you've got to be brave. Otherwise, you're keeping yourself and your business and your clients in the same place. Number 4, pricing. How does magician and logician consciousness affect how we price our services? Massively. If we decide the pricing based on reactive consciousness, a logician, it goes something like this. How much will my ideal clients will be able to afford? How much I can charge so other people will buy it? In other words, how much will I charge so I'm safe? Magician asks completely different set of questions. Still you focus on your ideal client, on your soul-aligned client, and you ask this type of question. How much does my ideal client need to invest in this so that, number 1, they can see the value in this? Because pricing is frequency and it also creates perception of that which you're selling. So how much do they need to invest, my ideal client, so they can actually see the value of that which I'm offering? Number 2, so they can fully commit or surrender into the process. This is if you are selling something for impact, yes? And number 3, so that I or my business can be generously rewarded. In other words, profit first. Yes, you ask yourself this question, so how much does my ideal client need to invest in this so they can see the value, they can commit fully, surrender, and my business will be generously rewarded, it will be profitable. You will have the frequency, you will have the number intuitively, and that's magician level pricing for impact that makes, yes, the biggest impact for your business, for you, and for your client. Area number 5 in business, content creation. Logician in you will be thinking, what do I need to write or record so that my audience will like it, so that it can go maybe viral, so that it will get plenty of clicks and so forth. So what do you need to create so it will be validated by others? Magician in you will go within and you will connect with that version of you that you're becoming. In other words, with the highest version of you, you can tap into your soul. You connect with that version of you and you ask yourself, as this version of me, what would I choose to create today? How would I let my voice out today? How would I want to serve today? What would I want to communicate to my incredible clients today? Can you feel the massive difference between what do I need to say so that other people will validate me, like my posts and so forth, and what would the highest version of me say to make the biggest impact? Reactive versus creative, logician versus magician, same old, same old, same old, same old, released full voice. Next business area where magician and logician can create or play havoc, and that is selling. So if you sell like logician, so let's say you have a one-on-one conversation with potential client, the logician in you will be asking you to sell in a way that, what do I need to say so that the other potential clients wants to hear? What do I need to say so that essentially they will buy? So you are selling in a way that is pleasing your potential clients. Or or you sell as a magician. In that same sales conversation, you will not be pleasing your potential client, but you will say what will make the biggest impact, sometimes even to the point where you make yourself uncomfortable. I will give you a little story here. One of my past clients who wanted to grow her business, of course, with the power of business energetics, she was actually very good at generating plenty of leads and plenty of sales conversations, but her conversion was pretty low. And one of the things we identify the reasons why that conversion might be pretty low was because she was selling actually as a logician, whereas it could get results, but her soul didn't resonate with it. So it created that internal miscongruency, and she was telling clients what they wanted to hear. She oftentimes caught herself thinking, oh, I would say this to my client if I were their coach, but not yet. If I were their service provider, not yet, because I may offend them now, or they may get too scared now. So I'll hold on, and I will only say what I think they're prepared to hear or they want to hear. So she was mellow, marshmallow during those sales conversations, where actually, if she was already working with them, she would be very powerful, very direct, truth teller, and that's how she would help her clients to get results. So logician in selling, magician in her coaching and mentoring. So when she had this light bulb moment, when I led her to realize that she is not here to please others, not even in selling, she's here to make an impact, and selling conversations are also for that, to make an impact. The game completely changed. She would actually treat her clients, her potential clients during those sales conversations exactly in the same way as she would treat them if they were her paying clients, as a magician. So she no longer was pleasing her potential clients, she was impacting her potential clients as a magician does. And that makes a huge difference. Yes, it requires sometimes to go out of a comfort zone. Let's say bringing into light for the client where exactly are they limiting themselves, with what type of thinking and feeling they're actually making themselves smaller. So it may even make us feel, oh, can I really say that? Should I say? Yes, you can. Yes, you should, because you're not here to please others. You're here to make the biggest impact. You are a magician. That leads me to area of the business number 7, and which is actual delivery. So this is especially for the service-based entrepreneurs and leaders. We're actually delivering certain service. So again, you can deliver that service as a logician or as a magician. Now, if you deliver that service as a logician, again, you will go externally, outwardly. How do my clients want to be served? What do I need to do? And that often leads to overgiving, over-delivering, and breaking your own boundaries, which is not healthy. Again, I've been there in the early days of this incredible Business Energetics Academy. My clients called me Coach Mama Lenka because I was smothering them so much, because that's what I thought, well, that's what they wanted. So my group coaching calls sometimes would be 3 hours long, because I had to make sure, I wanted to make sure that, of course, that's what they want. Everyone wants to have their say. Everyone wants to be in a hot seat. So I would go on and on and on, forget the fact that I was tired. But hey, I was getting praise. Coach Mama Lenka, you're incredible. I wouldn't be able to live without you. So essentially, I was feeding my sense of self-worth through over-giving. That was pure reactive consciousness, and actually what I call the prostitute archetype, or the whore archetype in the business. It's not healthy. Saving, overgiving, going what they want, it's actually not the most impactful way you can serve. Then I had to learn, and I found it challenging but life-changing, not just for me, for my business, but for everyone involved. And that is, how would I love to serve in a way that is not going to drain my energy, but give me energy? So when it came to the, let's say, group coaching timings, or when do I run the calls, or how do I structure my courses and so forth, I went with what is really the best also for me, not just for my clients, for me. How would I want to do it? It was complete departure from how I would deliver my services before. And it made initially sound very selfish. How do I want to do this? But here's the thing, and This is one of the most powerful energetic principles that you can adopt, and it's this one. What is right for me is right for everyone. Write it down somewhere, contemplate on this if you haven't heard this from me before. What is right for me is right for everyone. Not the easiest for me, what is right for me. So yes, delivering from reactive consciousness is giving your clients maximum. Delivering from creative consciousness is giving your clients the best. Which one is going to make more difference? Area number 8, timelines. When do I do things? Let's say, when are we going to launch this new product or service? When you are in reactive consciousness, Logician in you will be thinking about, oh, where do people buy? What are the trends, times of the year, blah, 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 blah. Magician in you will simply ask, where do I feel the most potent energy to launch this? Where is my energy and my team energy? Where are we at the peak? Not when people buy, what are the hot buying. You can make any month in a year the most profitable month. Any season, any month, any week. So yes, here is my encouragement. If you go by these trends or to decide when, how about you go within yourself? Become again a more powerful magician in your business. And finally, area number 9 in your business where Logician and Magician make a lot of difference is team and hiring. You can hire from a position, oh my goodness, this is not working, let's fix this. That's reactive consciousness. Or you can hire and grow your team from a place of magician where it is, we're going to create a massive difference. Their possibilities are endless. What kind of geniuses I want on my team? From the energy of overflow. I know that when I made the hiring decisions on, I don't know how to do the funnels, let's say. I'm not good at it. It's not working. Let me bring somebody to fix it. I outsource the same energy onto the specialist in funnels and they just multiply that energy. Logician consciousness will just bring more of reactivity, more of the need, more of the lack. Whereas where I attended my energetic relationship with funnels first, fell in love with automation and funnels, with divine masculine, and from the energy of overflow, I brought more people on my team that can create the most incredible funnels very easily. That's completely different thing. Completely different thing. So again, I encourage you to review when it comes to hiring. Am I hiring from the place of fixing a need, or am I hiring from the place of overflow? Am I hiring as a logician or am I hiring as a magician? Of course, I suggest the latter. So let me know in the comments below, which of these 9 areas would definitely benefit from more of magician inside of yourself. Let me know, okay? And just in case you're wondering, for the full embodiment work of this creative polarity, so you can be full magician in your business and scale your income, impact to the highest level, you will start in Limitless Creator inside of Business Energetics Academy. This is where you start very actively working with your logician and of course magician, and letting the power of the magician flow through every vein of your business but also life. With that being said, I'm sending fierce love onto you and your vision as always, and I'll see you next time.